Hey, I'm back again with another home tour in Las Vegas. Today, I'm in the master planned community of Green Valley, which is in Henderson, Nevada. Got a 4-bedroom house behind me with the often sought after bedroom downstairs. Let's flip the camera around and take a look. All right, let's go. Everyone knows the story, one take. We're gonna walk through, talk about what we see, no script home tour. And we're coming across a 3-car garage and what's going on inside. Well, I can't wait to show you the natural wood floors. If you watch my videos, you know I love wood floors. So you walk in and you've got the entire house, all wood floor, at an angle or bias to the front door here. You walk in, you have a formal living room, a formal dining room, and then we'll walk back to the kitchen area. So it's 4 bedrooms, 3 upstairs with the primary downstairs, not just a bedroom, the primary downstairs. It's just under 2,200 square feet at 2,198. Lot size coming in at 5,200, built in 1998. $585 list price, so we're looking at a $266 per square foot home. The total HOA right now is posted as $75 a month. So you have both the master plan, Green Valley, and then maybe a smaller one here. So granite countertops, you have white appliances. As I'm starting in the corner, I might as well go all the way in. And you got your pantry. So a door, walk-in pantry. This is a newer fridge. Oftentimes, white does not mean new. I did stop doing this a while ago because everyone's like, it's really hard to see. What the heck am I going to do with it? Just in case you're curious, because this is newer. As what looks like all the appliances. Got natural wood cabinetry. Definitely does not look painted or stained. It's the press board with the staples on the drawers. Brown, fairly busy granite, which goes well with the brown and the natural wood color on the floor. The floors are darker than the cabinets. Cabinets are like a light, almost pine color. And then the floor, I'm just gonna say oak, but because I just, hardwood, oak, why not? But the thing I want to point out is there's just a lot of nice upgrades in this house. Your point in case, you have your pot filler. This is you don't see this very often. I don't see it enough, in my opinion. Super convenient. Side note, we're not vented, so do be sure to get your vents cleaned. But that's just it's not just an easy fix. It has to happen probably when they did the countertops. With the countertops off, they could run something in the backsplash. But it's a little bit of work. I think well earned. I don't know how many of you guys, I'm raising my hand here behind the camera, filled a big pot of water up over here. And then by the time it got over to the sink, it sloshed on the floor and you got to clean it up. It's like, come on now. Anyhow, double sink here. We got a nozzle. I'm assuming it's an RO system, reverse osmosis. There it is. There's your tank and there's your filters. It's not a set it and forget it forever. You do have to make sure you change those filters out periodically. And is 98, and as things weren't quite open, here we do have that open feel into the living room from the kitchen, but around the corner you still have your dining room and formal living area. So again, to continue my theme of just the small things, and by this is $585, $266 a square foot. This is coming in at a very competitive price here. But here they've installed the shelves just to utilize this space here along the staircase. And then again, the granite outline on the fireplace. I would say 9 out of 10 fireplaces is just the drywall behind it. Nothing to dress it up. And then the baseboard, right? It's not just your 3-inch baseboard. It's a little bit more ornate. So you can tell that these are the things a homeowner does for themselves, and you're buying a house that's been updated, been upgraded, and you would think the workmanship is there, versus, they're always the question. Let's step outside. Okay, great, they did some nice updates, but how's the work? What can't I see? What's the saying, lipstick on a pig? Does it look pretty, but in a year or two, am I going to be disappointed, or is this something that's been done for the long term? And I get the long term feel here on these upgrades. So you have a covered area. This backyard faces kind of north, almost maybe northeast. So we're later in the afternoon, the sun's starting to come in through here. Some nice mature trees from the neighbors on this end. And they turn the backyard into a little putting green here. Side entrance on that side. Nice French door entrance into the primary. And though it's not active, there is a spot for a pond if you are interested in a pond. And as always, if you're interested in this house, you want to set up a private showing, or maybe there's other houses that you want to take a look at, you're moving to Henderson, Nevada, give me a call. Shoot me a text, 702-706-7166. I'd love to get together with you. Text me, let's go. I know you come from my social media. And I'll get you in here or wherever, have a discussion, and maybe another house is the right fit for you. So back into the front, this is the formal dining room. And I should point out, it's not completely isolated. So beyond just the open space, the kitchen doesn't go all the way to the ceiling. So you do have that little platform there. And that's super common for the 90s, 2000s, having these platform storage spots. And then just to finish the room off, you have a formal living space in the front. Let's check out the remainder of the downstairs. We're going to cruise straight to the bedroom and come on back from there. So in the primary bedroom, you've got, it's a fairly nice size here, with a higher ceiling, listed as a 17 by 16. And I think these taller would probably like 9 foot, maybe 8 foot doors definitely give it just a little bit more of an elevated feel. It's a French door and then a full panel window for the third spot. And not every room, but this room does have the finish with the crown molding up top to pair with the nicer baseboards. Now I see 3 switches over on the wall. This does not have a light from what I can tell, so you can certainly look to upgrade that fan into light. I didn't turn them on, but there's some built-in lights in the room as well. This is where the bed would be. You have a real nice view of that backyard with the 3-panel windows there. Now this bathroom, super fun. Love the coloring on this countertop. I think I saw one similar to this. If you look back at a home in Southern Highlands, one of those big homes with a basement had something really similar. I don't know if it's the brown and the teal coming together, but it's a good feel for the house because you do have some browns, but it just gives it it lightens it up. And speaking of lightening it up, sometimes it's just a simple tile design that's not straight up and down. Again, just kind of livens up the room here. And that teal backsplash comes all the way around. Goes really nicely with the color of the cabinetry. And then you have like a 2-tone golden chrome on the hardware. Then into the primary closet, full California on both sides. Got a built-in covered armoire, and then over here, big deep drawers, 4 on the left, 4 on the right, and then a whole shoe situation here. Looking good. You got the low profile tub. So that's your primary. Sorry if I swung you too fast. Just your toilet to figure it out. And that takes you back, a little reading nook. Put your, I don't know, when I was a kid, I'd grab a Reader's Digest, which I think everyone just brings their phone into the bathroom if they're gonna have to read anything anymore. The years of magazines and bathrooms are gone. The phone has heralded in a new era. All right, so come on out of the primary. You do have a little storage underneath the stairs here. And I like to note that hardwood all throughout the house. They didn't stop at any one little spot except for the areas where there's water. Speaking of water, you got the washer dryer space here. So there could be water. So you'd want a waterproof flooring. Tile over hardwood, or hardwood is for sure preferred. Love seeing a storage closet coming out of the garage. You know, if there's one thing I feel we don't do enough of is speak to the homeowner. We have a closet at the front door, but I mean, most of the time we use the garage as our entrance, as that's where we park our cars. So for the sheer volume of how many times we come in through the garage, I feel more houses should have a coat closet and storage by the garage. It's my mission to talk about it at every house, and eventually maybe we'll affect some change together. So really nice out here. The 3-car garage has the epoxy flooring, a ton of storage over to the right, even some cabinets. And then you got a low threshold, so if you got a big truck here, you definitely want to make sure the cab clears, or even an SUV. I don't know how load bearing this is or how that all works. Get an engineer up on that, but low it is, I would say 7 feet-ish is the clearance. But you do have some racks over here. And then the tankless hot water. Vented right out. See, they made that upgrade. It used to have the tank water heater. And then they do have a water softener here also. I don't see a EV plug out here. Though the home does come with a solar leased system. I don't have the details on the system size. You know, all that's discussed as you get into contract. Those things are shared. So I would share with the listeners and followers and watchers here, don't panic if you don't have all the details right off the bat. And that's what due diligence is for, is to make sure that you get every contract you need. So, you know, if a homeowner has not supplied you, we'll get upstairs. That's the half bath, by the way, for all of downstairs outside of the primary. It's okay to get under contract and then say, okay, love the house, don't know anything about the solar, you got to tell me more. And then you get the contract, you kind of drill into the details. So upstairs are the remaining 3 bedrooms. We'll start to the right and just work our way around. So upstairs, the upstairs linen closet. And then these 3 bedrooms, they're all carpeted. Little lower profile baseboard on the upstairs bedrooms. Your more normal one. Walk-in closet. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the original baseboard, as this room has carpet, probably was not done at the same time as the hardwood, so they didn't need to pull off the baseboards to get it to happen. It's all guesswork, who knows? I'm not the homeowner, and I haven't spoken to them, so I don't know for sure. But I'll tell you somebody that has, and that's Carly Sandoval. So thank you, Carly, a colleague of mine at Coldwell Banker Premier Realty. Let me get in here and bring you this house and feature her listing. And look at this, little cedar finish in the closet. Nice touch. You do have the ceiling fan and light and platform here. What are those spikes? Well, if you've got pigeons hanging out in your solar and they're looking for another place to hang out, could be this ledge. So I've seen these as a deterrent. You don't really want to land on a bunch of spikes. If I were a bird, that's how I'd feel about things, at least. So the master plan of Green Valley, sometimes recognized as one of the best neighborhoods in Henderson for its location and value. There's golf courses throughout. There's the 215, which is the freeway that goes around the entire city. You're about 5 minutes from the freeway here, which puts you about 10 from the 15, 20 to 25 from the airport, 25 to 30 from the strip. Just everything's within striking distance here. Lake Mead, about 40 minutes. Mount Charleston, 50, 55, maybe an hour to Mount Charleston all the way up. Maybe only 30, probably only 30 to Lake Mead from here. Anyway, a lot going on, and some high-ranked schools as well. So between location and schools and all the rest, Green Valley is definitely a sought-after neighborhood and community, built in the late 80s, 90s, and 2000s is what you're going to get. And that's not a one piece, that's a tile in the tub and then a low-profile tub. And I like to see this. You have 2 sinks up here for the 3 bedrooms. Sometimes you'll see them opt for the single sink, them being either the builder or the original homeowner. So 2 sinks, 3 rooms, definitely helps math out a little bit. Well, if you're looking to buy a home here in Henderson, Nevada, again, I'd love to help you out. I'm a real estate agent here, and give me a call. We'll talk about what you're looking for, and maybe this is the right fit. Maybe something else is. There's, like 7,000-8,000 homes on market right now. So if you haven't found the one yet, we can certainly work on it. Appreciate you joining me. Let's recap. So we got a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home with the primary bedroom downstairs, right down this hallway here. You got a list price of $585,000. Comes out to $266 a square foot. It's a $21.98 on the square footage on the home with a 5,227 square foot lot. HOA is clocking in at $75 a month. Pleasure having you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next.